Welcome to Kevin's European Garage, and today I'm going to show you how to ditch these H7 bulbs and put some LED headlights in instead. So if you're like me, you didn't get the upgraded headlights. Over here, I got regular H7 halogen bulbs for the high and low beams. They've had LED headlights out for a while now, but they didn't really play friendly with the CAN bus setup that these cars have. So today, I'm going to show you how to put in ones that are actually friendly to the CAN bus. They won't give you a warning light saying that your headlights are out. So we're going to take out this headlight, and then we're going to install the bulbs. So in the trunk of your car, you should have a tool like this. At least I hope you have a tool like this. This is for removing the headlights. So now I'm going to show you how to take these headlights out. So if you come down into the engine compartment, you'll see this little slot over here, right next to the intake. You got one on the opposite side. There is a hex bolt down there, or like actually an Allen type bolt, that this thing slides into. And on here, it gives you little instructions. It tells you which way to turn it, to tighten it, or loosen it. So you just slide that down there, look inside. You can see the hex, line it up, and then just twist it to unlock it. So now I twist it, unlock it, you can see that the headlight is loose now, and we're just going to pull the headlight straight out. The headlight, and then now you got to disconnect the wiring harness. So let's lift the headlight up just like this. You can rest it inside there. There's a little tab. Press down on that tab and pull back. There we go. So that's the headlight, and now let's put... Okay, so the headlight's out on the bench, and I'm going to be using these Aoki headlights that I picked up off of Amazon. They're less than 50 bucks, they're 35 bucks for the pair, and these are CAN bus friendly. This seems like it's going to work just fine. So these are the CAN bus little adapters that they have over here, and this is what we're going to be putting in the vehicle. In order also to make this work, you're going to need to pick up these small adapters. Because what happens is the factory ones, the hole in here is rectangular as opposed to being round, and this thing doesn't fit in it. So then I'll show you that in a second. But you also need to pick up these two, and this is also from Amazon. And I'll put a link into on the in the comments or just below the video so you can see what stuff I ordered. All right, so let's take out the bulb over here. It's pretty simple. You just push down on these tabs and just slide it back. So now we got the bulb, and just to get it out, twist this counterclockwise and pull this out. Now my bulb has been in and out a bunch of times. I don't know if yours has by now, but these got these little tabs on there over here, and that's part of the adapter. And you're gonna have to lift up on these and kind of pry out. You might need to use a screwdriver. I've done this enough times where mine, I just lift up and pull on them. They slide out like such. And this is the adapter. This is the factory one. You can see this is rectangular and not round. So these things will not fit inside. So that's why you got to pick up those other ones. So now we have these. And what we have to do is remove this section from it. This thing goes onto the headlight itself. You slide it, it's notched, and you see it's got some tabs that stick out. So you want to slide that in there and twist it. And these things are supposed to point vertical. So what we need to do though is we got to get this in there first, and then we put this in after. So that's why I got these new adapters, because these are not going to work. So here's a headlight with no bulb in it. So you're going to have this thing pointed down so that the bottom looks like that on there. And you're going to have a little slot. You want to make sure that this thing lines up inside. So I'm going to put this thing down in there like this. And now the little slot lines up over there. Push down and twist these into place. All right, and now once it's down into place, it's going to look like this. this in the middle. And now we put this headlight bulb back in. I marked it with tape so that I know which way is vertical. And that's locked into place. Tuck our little cheater in there. Connect up our harness. What I ended up doing this, I just ended up bending these out a little bit because I didn't like how I didn't like how it was sitting in there. I didn't think it was tight enough and I don't want it to come out. So I did that and now it feels pretty secure in there. So here we go. We got the whole setup in here now. Inside the headlight. A little tight in there, but it's in there. It's in there good. And now we can put the cover on. And this was the low beam. That's the one I would constantly blow because I don't really use the high beams that often because I'm in the city. And over here is the high beam, so we're going to change those next. It doesn't. There you go. This one uses a different adapter than the low beam. This uses a different adapter. Let's see if I got this one. So you got two different adapters. You got one that looks like this with the tabs down low. And then you got another one with like this that the tabs are up high. Two different adapters, one for the low beam, one for the high beam. I would imagine the rest of it's probably the same. These things are ever so slightly different, so you end up having to... You're going to have to modify them in order to get them in there. I mean, to twist it a little bit. See, it lines up inside, but it doesn't go all the way inside. That's the problem. Put our piece back in. Twist it so we can get that alignment piece, the part to line up. Guess if you didn't want to go through all this trouble, you could essentially just cut open the hole on your factory ones and make it work that way, which in the end was probably might be a little bit easier if you got a little Dremel to open it up the holes instead of trying to get these adapters to work, because no one says which adapters for what or anything of that sort. When you go look these up online, you end up having to buy a bunch of them and trying them out. That's kind of what I end up doing. All right, it's in there. Let's see if it holds. Looks like it should. All right, now the next thing to do is put the bulb in. And make sure this thing lines up vertically, because that's how you're supposed to install them. And that's it. And I'm going to do the same thing again with the plug, because I don't like how... Oh, this one's a lot tighter than the other one. The other one wasn't very tight. This one's tighter. Tuck it down inside. And you probably could use some maybe some double-sided tape or some Velcro or something like that to keep this in place from bouncing around inside the headlight. I think that's what I'm going to do. I happen to have some Velcro. So I cut off a couple small strips. A little cold in here. I wasn't expecting to take this long. I didn't turn the heat on or anything like that to warm this garage up. And it's just cold today. It's a little more difficult to work. All right, so my Velcro. And there's plenty of space to put it down in the middle. Right in there, just hold it in place. Yep, and that's good. Let's put the cover back on. And I'm going to put some Velcro on this one. Pull on the back side right here. Right down over here. That should hold it in place. So you're going to end up fighting with these things. These things are a pain in the butt. Not so much of getting these factory ones off. It's just that you have to have two different kind of adapters if you don't want to modify yours. Like I was saying, you can cut out a section over here with like a little Dremel or something like that, so you can slide them back in, which I guess is perfectly acceptable if you want to do that. But you're going to have to get two different kinds. So this is one adapter, and this is the other one. And this is the low beam, and this is the high beam. You can see that the tabs are different. You can see how they mount, that they're different. They don't. This one's kind of flush with here, and this one is angled downward. So you need to have two different ones. All right, so now this is all set. I'm just gonna put this back into the car, and we'll see what the difference is from side to side. All right, so there is one thing. Before we put them in completely, we're gonna take a look at them because these things do have polarity. So we're just gonna make sure that they're set up right. If not, we're just gonna have to flip them, and that's not that big of a deal to do. We're just gonna leave the headlight in there right now, and let's turn these on. So that's the low beam, and that's the high beam. And as you can see, I got the car running, and there is no lights at all telling me that I got a headlight out or anything of that sort. So now I can put that headlight back in completely, and you can take a look at the front afterwards to see the color difference between the regular factory bulbs to these, and it's a huge difference. So now that I know that these work fine, I'm just going to slide the headlight in, and usually I give it a good push, and that locks it back into place. Now you can take your pin out. And let's compare this one to the other one. And that one's even got some upgraded low beams, and there's a massive color difference. So let's take a look. And you can look at this. I mean, this is much more white as opposed to that over there. I mean, look at that compared to this. And now it matches your running lights, because before there's always a big color difference. Look over here, you can see the color difference right there from there. So this is much nicer, and it's a lot easier than doing a headlight conversion. A lot easier, a lot less expensive too. I mean, this whole thing costs less than $100. You want to do a headlight conversion, I mean, I've seen those things going into thousands to put LEDs in there. And now with the ones that they make, you don't even have to worry about having lights on the dash. Thanks for watching Kevin's European Garage. So you watched me put the new LED bulbs back into the factory headlights, get rid of those H7 bulbs that for me were constantly blowing. I was using some aftermarket ones, and they last maybe 6 months at most. Obviously they were brighter than the factory, but it still kind of sucked that every 6 months I was changing them, and they were like $50 for a pair. So it was getting kind of expensive after a while, and I just had enough. So that's why I decided that now, like a couple years ago when I was looking for LEDs, I was having trouble finding one that would actually play nice with the CAN bus system on the car. And then now that they have these that I've got no light indication telling me that I've got I got headlights out. So it looks like they're gonna play well with these. And if it does change, I'll let you guys know. I'll put it in the comments which ones from Amazon I bought and the adapters in order to make it work with. So just in case you don't want to modify your factory ones and make that hole bigger. So thanks for watching. Hope you liked this video. Hope you consider subscribing, and I'll have more Cayenne videos coming out soon.